It's Christmas in July, and in this episode, I am decorating my Christmas tree and making chicken and dumplings in the crock pot. But before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, I'm Denise Jordan, and I teach women to make wise home health and beauty decisions. So if you want to learn more about running a household, subscribe. Or if you want to see reviews about products that can benefit you in your home, subscribe, because I do videos on those topics all the time. So hit that subscribe button and tap that little bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Okay, let's get into it. I just love Christmas in July, and one of the things I like to do is get in a little early shopping. But the other thing that I like to do is take a look at pictures and videos from the Christmas that just passed. It just kind of makes me nostalgic for those times, and then it gets me looking forward to what's coming up. So what I've got for you today is an episode of Vlogmas from last year, and I was putting up my tree and then decided to make some chicken in a crock pot while I was doing that, because of course you want to try to multitask. So let me show you that. It's Denise, and it's another day of Vlogmas. And I hope to finish up the last of my Christmas decorating today. I am determined to finish up the living room and then get the family room done. I just have a few more things I need to do in the living room, but the family room needs major work because I've kind of been storing all the boxes and things like that in there. So I'm going to get it done today. I've got things at 6s and 7s, and it's time to wrap it up. I thought I'd put dinner in the crock pot while I was busy with my decorating. So I'm going to make an easy chicken and dumplings in the crock pot. I found the recipe on the internet, and it looks delicious, so I'll let you know how well it works out. So it calls for 4 chicken breasts, but I actually have 3 really big ones, so I'm going to cut them in half. I actually found this recipe on the Spend with Pennies website. She calls it the perfect crock pot chicken and dumplings, and I have to admit that it was pretty darn good. So the first thing I got to doing was cutting up my vegetables. Got my carrots chopped, the celery, and then I set about to chopping the onion. And I tell you what, I don't care what I'm chopping, it never fails that my husband walks by and snags a piece of it, particularly carrots. But he will snag a raw potato. And then I went out on the porch and then trimmed some fresh parsley from my fairy herb garden. I moved it from the back onto the front so that when I needed to access it in the snow, I could get to it. One large onion, roughly chopped. 2 large carrots. 3 stalks of celery. 4 chicken breasts. I'm always washing my hands when I'm working with raw poetry, and then I also have a Clorox kitchen cleaner that I use for cleanup. And then I put my cream of celery and cream of chicken soup into a bowl. And I just really love using that long spatula. It really helps me get things out of cans, out of jars, out of the blender. Crushed black pepper, 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, 1 tablespoon of fresh parsley. Mix that up. Spread the soup and spice mixture over the chicken. Add 2 cups of chicken broth. And this chicken broth is actually chicken broth that I made myself. And then we'll get the lid on and let it cook for the next 5 hours. And now I'm in the living room trying to get ready to decorate that tree. But first I want to make sure that the camera is positioned where it needs to be so that it can see me. So I do a little dance just to make sure that everything is set up just so. And then I get my ribbon out and I start wrapping it on the tree. Now the nice thing about this recipe is that it calls for a can of biscuits to actually make the dumplings. And I like the grand round biscuits, so I just get the wrapper off, smack it sharply on the counter, and then get the biscuits out and then smooth them out with my hands. I don't need a rolling pin, I just smooth them out a bit. And canned biscuits work really, really well for this kind of a meal. Some people might think it's cheating, but it works perfectly. And then I just take a pastry cutter and cut them into small strips. And this particular recipe makes quite a bit. It's actually serves 6, so we'll have some leftovers. So the chicken looks really, really good. It's been cooking for about 4 hours and the chicken's pretty much done. And I like to shred it up just a little bit when I'm going to make dumplings. And some people like to add some frozen vegetables to their chicken and dumplings. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This time, I did not. So I took a couple of forks to shred up the chicken, and then I'll drop the dumplings in. So there you can see all the dumplings on top of the juices. So then I'll put the lid on and then I'll let it cook for about another hour. Now I actually use a couple different colors of red ribbon. One has kind of a gold stripe through it and the other is just a solid red. And then I also add a ribbon that has a gold with gold stripe through it. So I use 3 different ribbons to wrap around the tree, and I really love the way it turned out. It really turned out beautifully. I learned how to wrap the ribbon by watching a couple of videos, and so now I feel like I'm pretty comfortable at it. Well, I've got all the balls on it and all the ribbon. All I need to do now is put on this funky bow, and this tree is done. And then I'm going to wrap it up for today. There you go, it's all done. So the tree is done and the chicken and dumplings are done as well. Doesn't that look good? So let's dish it up. And the hubby and I will sit down and enjoy our meal. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Vlogmas. I am actually participating in a collaboration with Taammy Thompson at Taammy Thompson TVMG, and she is hosting this collab on Christmas in July. And what she asked us to do was just to either do a home tour, make a recipe, decorate our trees, just do something that harkened to Christmas. And like I said, I like to look back on the Christmas that was. So this is my offering, my participation in Tammy's collaboration. If you are not familiar with Taammy Thompson, I will link her below so that you can check her out. And then also I will link the playlist when it's available so that you can see what all the other creators have done. Now here's my question for you. What part of this whole process, either the chicken in the crock pot or the decorating of the Christmas tree with ribbon, did you have a question about? Tell me in the comment section below. And if you like this video, I've got some other episodes of Christmas in July that you will love. I will link them above and link them below so that you can check them out. And just so you know, I've raised 3 children. I've managed a home for more than 45 years, and I'm a nurse by profession. So if you want to learn more about running a household, cooking and cleaning and laundry and health and beauty, subscribe. I would love to have you as a member of the TNT community. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying goodbye. I will see you in the next video.